What's an unfun fact? During WW1, the British intelligence service created a propaganda campaign that said the Germans were boiling their dead to extract fat and produce nitroglycerine to replenish their dwindling supply. This lie was exposed after the war and there was a considerable amount of public outrage when similar reports came back of the atrocities that the Nazis were committing during WW2. Most people dismissed them because of the boy who cried wolf situation 20 years earlier and really damaged the public opinion of the war, which no one wanted to repeat in the first place. In 2014, the CDC once found a smallpox sample that they had lost and didn't even know it. It was just laying around in some random storeroom. Brush-tailed possums are coprophagic, eat their own shit. They need their food to go through their digestive system twice to get all the nutrients. They are nocturnal, so spend the night eating eucalyptus and other plant leaves and flowers. During the day, they curl up into a little ball with their mouths closed to their bums and eat the soft poo as it comes out in. Then while they're out at night, they poo out hard, long pellets of poo, having absorbed all the nutrients. That's just gross. Fatal familial insomnia exists. It's a rare, incurable prionic brain disease that progressively destroys your brain's ability to sleep. Eventually you stop sleeping altogether, go insane, have seizures, and die. Prions are scary, no cure/treatment, and mostly deadly, but they're rare at least. If they became somehow common like a rhinovirus, humans would almost be wiped out. Don't give 2020 any more ideas. Agreed. Let's let 2020 think murder hornets are the icing on the cake. It seems it's going to be a monster hurricane season. It's not even June yet. Buckle up. Around 1.5 million people die from TB annually, which is a disease consistently treatable by antibiotics in almost all cases. In most places where TB is endemic, HIV is also endemic, and you see a lot of comorbidity with those two. Even if people can afford and access antibiotics, their immune systems are often too compromised to fight it off. Parvovirus can infect dogs and cats at any particular age and kill them pretty efficiently. It's especially good at doing this with puppies. There's no cure and no antiviral, just boosters and hydration forth you can give them. When a dog comes home healthy from the recovery from a parvo infection, they are contagious for 2 weeks, and if they pee, poop or vomit anywhere at all, including dog parks, that freaking virus is able to survive for up to a year, including in 100+ weather. Parvovirus sucks. Depends on what you find as fun, but King Henry VIII exploded in his coffin while the grave was being dug. The mess was cleared up by stray dogs. Buildup of gases in his body, I'm assuming. Dead people can get goosebumps. How? Only 1 in every 1,000 sea turtles born ever make it to adulthood. To add to this, saving baby turtles at the beach does less, almost nothing, for conservation compared to protecting adult turtles in the ocean. Another turtle didn't make it to the water. There is a penguin species with 6 practices that were so disturbing that the person studying it almost didn't publish his findings. It involved a lot of rape, necrophilia and pedophilia. Scallops have eyes, around 200 under the shelly lip. The female tarantula hawk wasp stings a tarantula between the legs, paralyzes it, then drags the prey to a specially prepared burrow, where a single egg is laid on the spider's abdomen, and the entrance is covered. Sex of the larvae is determined by fertilization. Fertilized eggs produce females, while unfertilized eggs produce males. When the wasp larva hatches, it creates a small hole in the spider's abdomen, then enters and feeds voraciously, avoiding vital organs for as long as possible to keep the spider alive. After several weeks, the larva pupates. Finally, the wasp becomes an adult and emerges from the spider's abdomen to continue the life cycle. With a name like tarantula hawk wasp, of course it has to do something as badass and brutal as this. Male cats have spines on their penises that rake the walls of a female's V to trigger ovulation and to hold the female in place while mating. I know for a fact the female cats were not consulted about this, and the female attacks the male after they are done doing their thing. A human tooth has 36 calories. Stay in school, don't do drugs, eat your teeth. The first responder to die in 911 was killed by someone jumping out of the building and landing on them. The youngest person to ever give birth was a Peruvian girl, Lina Medina, a Quechua Indian who gave birth to a child in 1939 at age 5. She had precocious puberty and had her first period at age 8 months. She may have been raped at a debauched indigenous religious festival where people often brought small children and rapes were known to occur. The man who raped her was never found, and she was silent about how she got pregnant. The delivery was by cesarean as vaginal delivery was deemed impossible. Her son was told that he was her little brother, and she also treated him in this manner. Obviously, she was an incompetent parent, preferring to play with dolls rather than tend to the baby. But that's to be expected. The case is well documented in medical journals, including photos of her pregnant body. It is also in the Guinness Book. She later married, had another son, went to work for the physician who delivered her, and lived a quite normal life. The son was healthy, but died young at age 40. She and her family both refused all requests to speak of the case, including offers of significant sums of money. As of 2008, she was still alive at age 75 and living in a slum in Lima, Peru. If she is still alive, she would be 87 years old. Touching an AM radio broadcast tower will kill you. And not only will it kill you, but it will hurt the entire time you're dying. Number 1. The voltage is so high that your hands would instantly clamp to whatever charged part of the tower you touched. Then because it's oscillating at a frequency your cells can't feel, you wouldn't be able to feel yourself being electrocuted until it starts to heat your body from the current. And you'd also be able to hear your body acting as a speaker, where you'd literally be able to hear whatever was on that particular station as you die. Here's an example of the sheer power running through one of these things. https://yao2b/u09 edit. Since people asked, touching an FM broadcast tower won't have nearly the same effect. The tower is hundreds of feet high, and unlike AM radio where the tower itself is the antenna, the actual antenna is only about 20 to 30 feet long at the very top. Also, FM radio uses a lot lower power, only usually 100 to 1000 watts, compared to AM radio where usually 1000 to 50,000 watts are used. So unless you climb all the way to the top of the tower, there's no danger of any burns. Also, in regard to 5G, as stated previously, AM radio uses an incredible amount of power. 5G uses so much less power, on the order of 1 to 15 watts. Also, radio waves are considered non-ionizing radiation, meaning the only danger with them is a small heating effect at higher frequencies, kinda like a microwave. But also keep in mind that your microwave uses 1500 watts. This is because the wavelength of these radio waves is literally too big to interact with your cells in any way. There's no danger whatsoever here. The power depicted in that video comes from the electricity flowing through the tower, not the radio waves themselves. Fucking hell. I've been living near a tower like that for all my life and always wondered how it would be to climb. I guess not fun after this fact. Me too. Explains why there's a big empty field around it. People who handle cockroaches develop allergies to them. This usually prevents them from drinking pre-ground coffee because of the cockroaches that get grounded in with the large batches. When a male bee drone ejaculates, its testicles explode and the drone dies. It is literally a one-shot wonder. Sea otters kill and rape baby seals, not always in that order. That brain-eating amobus exists at all, and is also pretty commonly found in freshwater ponds and lakes. Apparently only 4 people have survived getting it in the last 50 years. There's a planet where it rains molten glass, horizontally, at 5400 miles per hour or 8700 kmh. Whales don't die of old age. Eventually they just don't have the strength to resurface and slowly drown. Deep sea octopus babies take 5+ years to hatch, while mama octopus never leaves the nest to feed and dies when the babies hatch. She doesn't eat for 5+ years. Edit. Oh my, this really blew up. Many of you pointed out the source already. It is from Radio Lab Optimum episode. I highly recommend. There are only 2 states in the US that have outlawed child marriage. One of them only just put it into law a few weeks ago. 23 states don't even have an age limit on marriage. Tapeworms can grow up to 32 feet inside of you, and they eat half of what you eat. Dolphins in captivity usually commit suicide by suffocating themselves. Famous example, Flipper. Suicide bombers are a lot easier to identify post-mortem than you'd expect. This is because the blast from the suicide belt hits the base of the head in such a way that the head pops off like a cork. Investigators therefore have a relatively intact head to ID. Edit. Thanks for the gold, kind stranger. In response to speculation in the comments, I'd like to say that I'm not a veteran, a forensics expert, or a gore site editor, and I have not witnessed this in person. Although I have seen a couple of photos. I'm just a true crime guy who looked into the forensics after the St. Petersburg and Manchester bombings in 2017. My original source was a quote by journalist Jobby Warwick.